Hi, welcome once again to the MACT class. Welcome to the channel. Last time we learned about what? Angles. And we did some principles, look at them into details. Now today what we are going to do is to solve questions, applying the principles that we've learned in the previous video so that we can apply them and see how. All I need to do is to sit quietly and listen carefully to what I'm going to say. I'm going to apply those same principles that I have taught in the first video to solve this. So when I solve the questions you'll be able to understand and follow. We can't do all the questions. So I'll look after for some questions that are very necessary. Once we solve them, then what do? You also go back, sit down, solve more questions. If you have any question, send it to me in the comment section, and I'm going to explain them for you. Any question at all under the angles, once you are solving it and you find it challenging. And also don't forget to share this to all your friends, those writing the final paper, so that they can also have access and be able to solve the question when it pops up in the exam. So without wasting much time, we go straight into it. Good. Now the questions that I'm going to solve have been posted on the website, which is www.mactclass.com. When you get there, you know how to navigate through. Yeah. Go to your JHS 3, math, you see the question there. Then you get the question. So once you get the questions, then we get into it. Okay, now let's go into the question. So I hope you've downloaded the question now. Now that I've done the question, let's see how we can solve the question. Good. So if you come to page 5, the question starts from page 5 in the notes. The question starts from page 5 in the notes. Now let's take question E. I mean 11E. The 11 didn't show, but 11E. Let's take question 11E and solve that quickly. Applying the principles here. 11E. Let's take question 11E. Okay. So we have this. The triangle given was P, Q, R, S. We have this one there, this here, an angle X here, an angle 32 here. 32 here. Okay. So I'm to find the angle X. Okay, people. Now let's go deep into this. I told you earlier on that once you see the question, this question we see here is about what? Triangles. About triangles. Okay. Now then we shift attention from anything concerning parallel lines. We don't need to think much. So here we're going to focus on triangles. On triangles, what are the things we need to know? What are the things we need to know? One, we need to know the two properties and the interpretation of the strokes. The interpretation of the strokes will tell me what kind of triangle I'm dealing with. If I look at this, I have two triangles. I have triangle PQR and triangle PRS. I have these two triangles. Good. And I'm supposed to go and find the angle here. No problem. But once I see this stroke and this stroke, that means I can interpret something here. So I'll tell them that if this is my solution, then I'll say I want to consider triangle. I want to consider triangle. What triangle am I considering? Oh, I want to consider triangle PRS. Now, from that triangle, yes, and this also reminds me. Now, here, from the triangle, we know this isosceles. Why? There are two strokes here, and this two stroke is facing this side. I mean, this angle, and this side is also facing this. Or we can say, since the triangle is isosceles, how do we know? The length here is the same as the length here. Then two angles must also be equal. What are the angles? The angle this side is facing and the other side is facing. That means the angle here should be 32. But this is what I advise you do. Now you put your own variable. Let's say variable A. But before you do this, be careful. Why am I saying this? If you don't redraw the diagram in your answer booklet and you put your own variables on the question paper, you know what's going to happen? You are going to bring the question paper home. And the guy marking for you will not know where your A is. Because he can't see anything. Tell him that A, where is the A? So you mark you wrong. Everything is wrong. So always take note. And always take note that the moment you want to redraw a diagram in math, you want to put your own variables, then redraw the diagram. Very important. So after drawing this, I've drawn it. So I have this. So consider this. I put this one there. Now consider this. I can tell the person that the angle A equals what? 32 degrees. And I consider this. You understand what I've written there, right? Good. Let's go. So now that we have that, then we can apply and say that, okay, the angle here should also be B. Remember, now that I've redrawn, I can use any of the 25 variables with the exception of 26, with the exception of what? X. How we get the point I'm making? But they've already used X. I can't use X. I have to use any of the 25 remaining. Okay. So in that case, I can say that in that same triangle, if I'm working on something, that same triangle, A plus B plus 32 should be equal to 180. Why is that so? That is what the reason is that there are some of angles in a triangle, some of angles in a triangle. Okay, let's go. But we know it's what 32, so we get 32 plus under 32 plus B should be equal to what? 180 degree. That will give me 64 plus B equals 180 what? Degrees. So I get 180. Let me say B equals 180 minus 64 degrees. 180 minus 64 degrees. So this I borrow, I get 10. From that, I get what? 6. That means 4 from 10 gives me 6. I'm left with 7 here. From that gives me what? 1. And I get 1. So that means my B is what? 116. Then I have this. Then earlier on, we learned that we can also place an angle here. This is an angle. So I can put an angle C here. That angle C, that's angle on a straight line. C plus B, C is on a straight line. Now, they are meeting at a point on a straight line, and their axis gives us a semicircle. Then we are qualified to say that this and this should sum up to what? To 180. Therefore, I can say C plus B equals 180. Once again, why am I saying that? These are straight line angles. Straight line angles. These are straight line angles. But we know B to be what? 116. Therefore, we can say that angle B equals C plus 116 should be equal to what? 180 degree. We know that from here. So therefore, C should be equal to 180 minus what? 116. 116. Good. Therefore, C gives me what? This is equal to 64. How many 64? Because I separated 64 together, so I just put it there and fine. So therefore, the angle C equals what? 64 degrees. Very important that you put your degree on the last answer. But I'm not looking for 64. The answer is we should go and find. The question is going to find what? X. Once again, take note. When you consider that triangle, which is triangle PQR, there are other strokes there. And this means that this triangle is also what? Isosceles. If the triangle is isosceles, then if here is C, people, if this guy is facing C, his 2CD can buy C, then my 2CD can also buy what? Also buy C. How to get the point I'm making here? So once again, I'll tell the person that when I consider triangle PQR, for PQR, what do I have? I'll have C plus X equals 180. What's the reason? Once again, there are some of angles in a triangle. Some of angles in a triangle. But we know C to be what? To be 64. So we have 64 plus 64 plus X equals what? Equals 180 degrees. Okay, let's go. So that gives me what? That will give me 8. That is 2. So 128 plus X equals 180. X should be equal to 180 minus 128. Then I subtract. Okay, so that will be, I borrow, I get 10, subtract, I get 2. I'm left with 6 here. 2 from 6 gives me 4. So that means my X, therefore, and put it here. Therefore, the angle X equals what? 42 degrees. What have I done? Nothing complicated. I just apply the principles. I don't see any power lines here. I'm not touching that. Triangles. What have I done here? Nothing. The same angles on a straight line, I see that, I can apply. Some of angles in a triangle, I apply, and I'm fine. Hope you get the point I'm making here. Good. Very, very important. Let's go to the next question. Next question. Make sure you subscribe and share this to all your friends writing this, because there are great things going to happen on this channel. Great things are going to happen. So far as education is concerned, math and science concerned, we are going to do so many things for you. Okay. So let's move on to the second question. Our second question, we have this. Another triangle. Another triangle, we have A, we have 42, we have 160, Then we have B. The question says we should find angle A and what? B. Okay. So when you see the question, what are you looking for? What are the shapes I have? I can see a triangle, and I can also see what? I can also see two power lines. Oh, that means I can apply power lines. Also apply what? Triangles. Good. Now, when you look at this, one thing I tell the students is that you have liberty, after you have drawn this on your answer booklet, you have liberty to extend this thing. Don't let these guys confuse you. Extend them so that you can see your transversal. Once I extend this thing and I see my, oh, this is a transversal, that's a transversal. Wow. Now that I see that, I can apply the three principles. What are they? Alternate angle, corresponding angle, and co-interior what? Angles. And straight away when I see that, I say these and these are what? Co-interior. So I'll say A plus 42 degree equals 180. 180. What's the reason for me saying that? Not the reasons, you can try not to write them. But I prefer to write the reasons. But you can decide not to write them, you are fine. The person marking will just come and trace, okay, this and this, and he understands what you have written 180. So this because they are co-interior. They are co-interior angles. They are co-interior angles. Okay, so let's go. So A gives me 180 minus 42. I borrow, I get 10, subtract, I get 8. Then this gives me what? Now I have 7 here. From that, I get 3, then 1. So A equals what? 138 degrees. So I found A. My A equals 138 degrees. Good. Now to find B. Now one thing I also say is that when it comes to angle, what you might see to solve the question, I might not see. What I might see, might not see. So there are so many ways in which we are going to see, or we will see a principle to apply in order to get an angle. You apply a different principle within the same principle we discussed. You get your answer. I can also see it in a different way. I get my answer. What do I mean by that? In this question, I've seen 2 ways by which you can do this. Now, what do I mean by that? I can represent this with my own variable, and just on a straight line, I'll find this. Same apply to this, I also find that. Once I get this guy plus that guy plus this, that's a triangle. The law work. The size of the triangle does not matter. Or I can say 160 and this angle here are co-interior. So I find this one, then this angle plus that angle plus this, also in a triangle, should sum up to what? 180. And that's what I'm going to do. Good. So that should sum up to what? 180. And that is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So let's go. So first of all, I place my own variable. Let me use this. So already B. Let me use X. Like X. So I'll say that 160 plus X equals 180 degrees. What's my reason? They are co-interior. How do I know they are co-interior? When you watch the previous video, you see how to know if these guys are what? Are co-interior angles. Okay, so X will be equal to 180 minus what? 160. When we subtract this, we get 20 what? Degrees. Therefore, X equals what? 20 degrees. I know we don't need X, we need B. Once again, we can say that 42 plus B plus X should be equal to what? 180. What's our reason? Sum of angles. Sum of angles. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Sum of angles in a triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. But we know X will be 20. So we get 42 plus B plus X equals what? 180 degrees. Okay. So in that sense, we know B is X is 20. Then put a 20 here. Now give me 20 plus that to give me 62 plus B equals 180. So angle B should be equal to 180 minus 62. You get what? 10. So you subtract, we have 8. There's 7 here. Subtract, you get what? 1, then 1. So the angle that they requested us to find is what? 118 degrees. Very important that your degree appears on your last answer. Very important. You get all the methods and you get the answer. Hope you have gotten this. So take notes. You can do these extensions. Don't let those things prevent you from what? Solving the question. Same principles are do. Apply. Once you apply them, perfect. You're going to get it. Make sure you watch this to the end so that you can get everything that you need. I told you that this year we are for you. You have to make sure you get a better grade. Okay. So let's go. There's another question here I want to solve. So I have this, and that is question 12C. Question 12C. I have this and I have that. The arrows here. Then you place this here. And the angle here is 130. I'm correct. Yeah, that's 130. That is 54. Then this is P. So we should find the angle at P. That is not my problem. What is my problem? What do I have? I have two parallel lines, but I'm lacking something that is very, very vital and important, which is what? The transversal. The transversal, where is it? We know the transversal should go straight through to divide, but we don't see the transversal. This is what we're picking up. Now, anytime you see such a question with this arrow, this thing like an arrow through, you are permitted to draw a third parallel line through this. You are permitted to do this. And when to do this, we get three parallel lines. We can compare this guy and compare what? This guy. Hope you are following what I'm saying. We can compare who? This guy and compare who? Those guys are. So these guys and that we can compare them. Then this one also becomes, we divide this into two angles. This becomes A and that becomes what? B. When we divide this into two angles. They are not equal, so you can't say they are equal. So when we take these first two lines, or these two parallel lines, we know the properties. There are three. Alternate, corresponding, and what? Co-interior. Now I can see that this one will give me the alternate angles. How do I trace alternate angles? They said from a parallel line to a transversal, then to the what? To another parallel line. So with this acute angle here is equal to the acute angle there. So therefore A equals 54 degrees. Very simple. Why? Reason is that they are alternating angles, or they are alternate angles. They're alternating angles. So they are equal. We don't do anything much. And let's come to the next one. So we have A. Once we get B, we can sum A and B to get what? To get P. Okay, so let's go. Now, here we can also say that B plus 130 equals what? Equals 180 degrees. Yes, what's the reason? Why am I saying that? I know you know the reason. What's the reason? Because they are what? Co-interior. But these guys are co-interior angles. Then we can do what? We can sum them and say they are supplementary. Okay, so this will give me 180 minus what? 130. That gives me 0. That gives me 5. So I get 50 what? Degrees. So now I have B equals 50 degrees. Now that I have B equals 50 degrees, I know that P will be equal to the angle A plus the angle what? B. What's angle A? Angle A was very easy. That is 54. Then plus angle B, which is what? 50 degrees. When I sum this, I'll get 4. That gives me that. So I'll get P equals 104 degrees. Very simple. I know most people don't want to see such, but very, very simple. There are a lot of questions there in your textbooks if you have them. You can also apply them and get to this. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Let's go more. Let's go more. Let's try this question. Let's try this. 12B. Let's try 12B and see how you are going to play with that one as well. 12B. Angle here is R. Angle here is 60 degrees. Angle here is 60 degrees. Then the angle there is Q. Then that is 44. I'm to find the angle Q and angle R. Angle Q and angle R. So easy. No problem. What do I see? I can see triangle. This is a triangle. These are two parallel lines. So when I look at a parallel line, I'll apply what parallel line deserves. When I look at triangle, I'll apply the principles of what? Of triangles. Okay, let's see. So I look at this thing carefully and look at this. You can see an X symbol here. You can see an X symbol. So this X symbol can mean that this place should be what? Should also be 60 degrees. I hope you agree. You agree with me? Okay. So straight away I can say that. Let me put my own angle P and say that P equals 60 degrees. What's the reason? Because they are vertical. I see the X symbol. They are vertically opposite. Vertically opposite or what? Opposite. Okay. So the P is that. If P equals that, the P plus 44 plus R, isn't that equal to 180 sum of angles in a triangle? Of course it is. So I have what? I have P plus 44 plus R equals 180 degrees. And the reason is that these are sum of angles in a triangle. These are sum of angles in a triangle. Good. But we know P equals what? 60. So I have 60 plus 44 plus R equals what? 180 degrees. Okay. When I add this, I get 4. So 104 plus R equals what? 180. So R equals 180 minus 104 degrees. 180 minus 104 degrees. Let's subtract. So this will give me 10. So as I borrow one at 10, I subtract, I get what? 6. I'm left with 7 here. 0 from 7 still gives me what? 7. So the answer is what? 56. Therefore, angle R equals 70. So not 56, 76 what? Degree. 76 degrees. How do we get that? Now, the question is, how do we get the angle at Q? Angle at Q, that is no problem. We still apply our power lines. Now, you can see that there are so many ways we can do this section, so many. This angle corresponds with this angle here. You can see the top here must go with the top here. Therefore, if I know the angle here, x, once I know the angle here, I can say it corresponds with this. But how do I get x? This is a straight line. Then there's an angle on it. So angles on a straight line should sum up to what? 180. Therefore, I'll get what? I'll say 60 plus x equals what? 180 degrees. What's the, these are, this is a straight line angle. Straight line angle. Okay, so let's go. So angle x should be equal to 180 minus what? 60 degrees. So x should be equal to 120 what? Degrees. Good. Now, if x equals to 120 degrees, you know the top here with the top here are corresponding. Therefore, we can also say that the angle Q equals 120 degrees. Why? Because they are corresponding. They are corresponding what? Angles. They are corresponding angles. I hope you get what is going on. You understand what is going on? Very, very important. So this is how we solve this question too. Okay. Let's go on to solve another question. I hope you're understanding this. Don't forget to subscribe and also share to your friends. I want to make sure everybody in Form 3 this year is able to solve questions on that, on these angles, and other questions, other topics we'll be treating. We're treating some topics too. So stay tuned. Make sure you have turned on notifications so that anytime we drop the video, you can also go and watch and get a better understanding of this, and also make what? A better grade in your math and your what? Your science. Okay, so let me solve this question 2 as well. Still question 12J. Like I've said, if you try any question on your own after listening to this and you still have challenges, just comment on in the section and we'll help you out. Okay, so let's go. Let's solve this one. Let's solve this one. Okay, so I'm supposed to find the angle U. No problem. Now, when I look at this question, I don't have power lines. So once again, I will not think of that. My focus once again goes to what? Triangles. And this is something you have to take note of. I explained something in the previous video that the measure of an angle is the stretch of its arc. When it comes to this question, most people get confused. Now, the fact that the 82 has been written here means that this angle is the 82. Let me rub this. So this is no. The question stretched this thing from here. The question did not want to put the 82 cross the line. That is why it has to write the 82 at this bigger portion or this big portion as well as 82 degrees. That's what I'm saying. But the measure of the angle is the stretch of the wall of the arc. So don't consider this to be your 82. No, you'll be wrong. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. Good. That means that let me try name this. So let me put P here, R here, S here. So let me try name this so it makes easy. It makes the work easy. Good. Now when I look at this, then triangle, when I consider, so my solution, when I consider triangle RPS. From this triangle, what can I say? I can say that the triangle is isosceles. How is isosceles? There's a stroke here and there's a stroke here. So that one of the things we need to understand when it comes to triangle is the interpretation of the strokes, right? Good. So if I'm interpreting the stroke, then what do I do here? I say, okay, see, this is one Ghana cedi facing here. This is also facing this. So if I place my O variable x, then the angle here is also what? X. Okay. Then from this triangle, we can say that x plus x should be equal to what? 56 what? Degrees. No, x plus 56 not equal. 56 should be equal to 180. Why? These are sum of angles. Sum of angles in a triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. We have this. Okay, so this gives me 2x plus 56 equals 180 degree. That gives me 2x equals 180 minus 56 degree. Then I subtract. Borrow 1, I get 10. That gives me 4. That's 7. So I have 2, then 1. So therefore, 2x equals 124. Divide both sides by 2, I get x equals 124 over 2. 2 goes into this 6 and that 2. So therefore, x equals what? 62 degrees. Good. So now I have this x equals what? 62 degrees. Okay, you get the point I'm making here. Good. Now we know this. Just this angle is what we calculated. Just this angle. Look at the arrows I'm putting. I beg, listen to this carefully. Just these angles. I hope you get the point I'm making. Just these ones we have at that. Okay. Now that we have this, now remember that I said the moment you see an x symbol, answer the question, open your eyes to see what is there. I can see that this line and that line forms what? Forms an x symbol. That means the angle here is also what? U. Therefore, if that's the case, I can say u plus x should be equal to what? 82 degrees. I can say this. I'm correct. Because that is the angle. Now I have x be what? 62. So if x is 62, I'll have what? I'll have u plus x should be equal to u plus 62 equals 80 what? 82 degrees. Equals 82 degrees. So u should be equal to 62, 82 minus 60 what? 2. So u should be equal to, let me subtract this. I like to subtract this with 62. This will give me a 0, that's 2. So therefore, angle u equals what? 20 what? Degrees. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. Yeah, very, very important. You need to understand this. Very, very important. Okay. So people, we are going to end the question solving on this. If you solve any question after listening to this and you have any problem, there are a lot of questions there. If you are solving, you don't see them, just send them to us or just comment in the section or go and write your comment in the section and I'm going to explain it or help you solve everything. Thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you very much. Remember, once again, to do what? To subscribe, share, and comment.